You can't keep running from me forever, Daniel. The words were quiet, but they hit like thunder. 5 simple words that threatened to unravel the careful, controlled life a widowed single father had spent 3 years building brick by brick. But Elena Carter didn't know the truth. Daniel wasn't running from her. He was running from the terrifying possibility that she might actually see him. Not just as Mia's dad. Not as the tragic widower. But as a man who still had a heart, one he'd locked away the day his wife died. It was supposed to be a normal neighborhood barbecue. The air smelled like charcoal, cheap beer, and late summer. Classic rock hummed from a speaker near the patio, kids darted between lawn chairs, and Daniel Moore stood near the fence checking his watch. 7:30 p.m. Perfect time to leave. Not too early. Not rude. Mia would be in bed by 9. Routine. Stability. Control. The pillars of his survival. He reached for his jacket. Leaving already? His hand froze. He didn't have to turn around. He'd been aware of her all evening, the way sailors watch storms forming on the horizon. Elena Carter. Faded jeans. Plain sweater. Worn sneakers. No makeup. No flash. Just, real. Too real. She's got school tomorrow, he muttered. It's Saturday, Elena said gently. Art class doesn't start until 2. Then she asked the question he'd been dodging for months. Why do you keep avoiding me? No anger. No drama. Just honesty. And Daniel, who had faced hospital hallways and funeral homes and sleepless nights with a newborn alone, had no defense against that. They moved to the edge of the yard as thunder rumbled in the distance. And under cheap solar lights and a sky-threatening rain, Daniel finally said the words he'd been swallowing for 4 months. My wife died 3 years ago. Brain aneurysm. One day she was planning Mia's birthday. The next, she was gone. Elena didn't pity him. She just listened. I built a life around routine, he said. Safe. Predictable. Just me and Mia. And then I talked to you at that party, and I felt like a person again. Not just a father. And that scared the hell out of me. Elena smiled softly. So you avoided me, because I made you feel alive? Yeah, he admitted. You're dangerous to my emotional distance. Rain began to fall. Then Elena said something that changed everything. I've been hiding too. For years earlier, she had sold a tech company for more money than most people see in a lifetime. The wealth had changed how the world saw her. People wanted her money. Her status. Not her. So she disappeared. Moved somewhere small. Lived quietly. Volunteered. Wrote a book no one had read. I just wanted to be seen as a person again, she said. They stood there in the rain, a widower afraid to want, and a millionaire afraid to be wanted for the wrong reasons. Have coffee with me tomorrow, Daniel blurted. They were both terrified. They both said yes. The next day, they met at a quiet cafe in the city. No neighbors. No past. No labels. Just 2 nervous people relearning how to talk. They spoke about childhood dreams. He'd wanted to be a park ranger. She'd wanted to be a librarian. They laughed over bad jokes and unfinished ambitions. For the first time in years, Daniel forgot to watch the clock. Until his phone rang. Mia needed him. And without hesitation, Elena told him to go. No guilt. No pressure. Just understanding. That's when Daniel knew, this wasn't about money, or loneliness, or filling a space. This was about 2 people choosing each other honestly. The next meeting wasn't romantic. It was a playground. Elena met Mia. Talked about elephants. pushed her on swings, drew terrible chalk animals on the pavement. And Daniel watched something he hadn't dared to imagine. His daughter laughing, with someone new beside them. Not replacing. Not intruding. Just joining. Later, standing in his small kitchen, Elena asked quietly, "Is this too much?" Daniel looked at his modest house, his crayon-covered fridge, his daughter's drawings taped to the walls. "I don't know," he said. "I just know I haven't felt this present in years." They were both still scared. Still uncertain. Still carrying pasts that didn't disappear just because hope showed up. But that Saturday morning, in a quiet neighborhood park, a widowed father and a woman who had walked away from a fortune both did something braver than they'd done in years. They stopped running. And sometimes, that's where love begins. "You shouldn't have to deal with my family drama 5 minutes after meeting my daughter." Daniel said it like an apology. Like a warning. Like a man already bracing for goodbye. "Daniel," Elena said softly, "look at me." He did. She stood in his doorway, morning light behind her, patient and calm and so quietly beautiful it made his chest ache. "This is real life," she told him. "Real life is messy. It's phone calls from worried mothers. Kids who are hungry. Adults who have no idea what they're doing but are trying anyway." She shifted her jacket in her arms. "If I wanted simple, I'd still be in my penthouse ordering takeout and never talking to anyone who mattered." Daniel swallowed. "This isn't what you signed up for." "I signed up for honesty," she said. "For people who see each other as people. Not projects. Not problems." From the kitchen, Mia's voice rang out. "Are you done fighting?" "Because I'm still hungry." Daniel called back, "We're not fighting." "It sounds like fighting." Elena laughed. "She's not wrong. We kind of are fighting about whether I should stay for lunch. That's a weird thing to fight about. Everything about this is weird." She looked at him carefully. "Do you want me to stay?" The honest answer was tangled. Yes. No. Maybe. I'm terrified. But he had promised honesty. "Yes," he said. "I want you to stay. But I'm also probably going to panic later and come up with 17 reasons why this is a bad idea." Elena nodded. "Then we'll deal with that when it happens. You're very calm about this." "I already had my panic attack this morning," she said lightly. "It's your turn later." Despite himself, Daniel smiled. Deal. Lunch was chaos. Mia had taken it upon herself to help, which meant half a loaf of bread on the counter and cheese slices everywhere. Elena crouched beside her, treating every sticky disaster like it was important. They ate under a wall of crayon drawings while Mia explained, in extreme detail, why one elephant had a purple trunk. Daniel watched Elena listen, really listen, not politely, not distracted, but like it mattered. And that's when fear crept in. Because this felt right. And right things could disappear. 3-year-olds got attached to people who left. But Elena was still there, smiling at Mia like she'd discovered treasure. And Daniel felt something he hadn't let himself feel in years. Hope. That night, on their first real date, everything was awkward again. White tablecloths. Low lighting. 2 people pretending they weren't terrified. "You look different," Daniel said. "So do you," Elena replied. "I wasn't sure if I should dress up, but I figured if this is a real date, I should wear real clothes instead of my usual disguise." "You look beautiful." She blushed. "Your socks don't match." He groaned. "I was told no one would notice." "I notice everything," she said gently. "It's adorable." But halfway through dinner, reality slipped in. "I have to go to New York next week," she admitted. "Foundation meetings. Donors. Press. That whole life. Daniel's stomach dropped. How long? 4 days. She looked miserable saying it. It feels like I'm already messing this up, she whispered. We just started, whatever this is. Daniel reached across the table and took her hand. 4 days isn't forever, he said. You're allowed to have a life outside me. She searched his face. You won't realize this is too complicated while I'm gone. He gave a small, sad smile. My life has been nothing but uncomplicated for 3 years. And it was lonely as hell. When she came back from New York, she didn't look like the woman from the park. Designer clothes. Perfect posture. Controlled expression. But her eyes were tired. I can't keep living 2 lives, she told him in his living room while Mia played upstairs. Elena the billionaire philanthropist 4 days a month. Elena the normal person the rest of the time. So stop, Daniel said. It's not that simple. The foundation does real good. Then hire someone brilliant to run it. You don't have to destroy yourself to prove you care. She stared at him, shaken. What if I'm using you as an excuse to quit? I think you're exhausted, he said gently. And human. Tears filled her eyes. I just want to be, me. Then be just Elena, he said. She laughed through the tears. I don't know how. Good, he said. I don't know how to be this version of me either. We'll figure it out together. Mia, of course, understood everything without understanding any of it. Can Elena stay for dinner? She asked from the stairs. Daniel looked at Elena. Can you? She smiled. I'd like that. Later, after Mia was asleep, they sat on the couch, her head on his shoulder, the television playing something neither of them watched. I'm going to step back from the foundation, she said quietly. Hire someone else. Trust them. Stop trying to be 2 people. I'm proud of you, Daniel said. I'm terrified. I know. She kissed him, not desperate, not rushed, but like a promise they were both choosing on purpose. The weeks after weren't a fairy tale. They were phone calls full of doubt. Paperwork. Second-guessing. Fear. But also laughter over badly cut sandwiches. Playground afternoons. Inside jokes. Mia holding both their hands like she'd built a bridge and dared the world to break it. One afternoon at the grocery store, a neighbor stopped Daniel. You sure you're ready for this? She asked gently. Mia's going to get attached. Daniel didn't pretend otherwise. I'm scared every day, he said. But I'm also happy for the first time in 3 years. He looked toward the park down the street, where Elena was pushing Mia on the swings, both of them laughing. She's not perfect, he said. Neither am I. But she's real. And that feels worth the risk. Honey, you've been scared since Rebecca died. The words followed Daniel down the cereal aisle long after the voice had faded. His sister hadn't said it cruelly. She'd said it gently. Honestly. We've all been watching you build walls around yourself, and that sweet little girl. And standing there between boxes of cornflakes and cartoon marshmallows, Daniel realized something unsettling. She was right. He was tearing down walls lately. Letting Elena in. Letting himself hope. Letting Mia see him as something other than the tired, grieving father who had been running on autopilot for years. And that terrified him. The test he didn't want. 3 weeks later, the real test arrived. I'm coming next weekend, his mother said over the phone. Absolutely not, Mom. Daniel paced the kitchen while Mia colored elephants at the table. This is not a good time. You've said that for 3 years, Patricia replied calmly. I want to see my granddaughter. I want to see you. And I want to meet this woman you've been seeing. Daniel closed his eyes. There was no stopping her. After he hung up, Mia looked up. Is Grandma coming? Yes. Is she going to meet Elena? Probably. Is that bad? Daniel sat beside her, watching her carefully color inside the lines. It's not bad. It's just complicated. Mia nodded like this made perfect sense. Grandma is protective because Mommy died, she said simply. And she was sad. The casual truth of it nearly broke him. But we're okay now, she added. We have Elena. Daniel kissed the top of her head. We are okay. And Elena is something new. I like new, Mia said. New is good. New is also scary. But you do it anyway, she replied. Because that's what being brave is. Sometimes wisdom comes in pigtails and crayon-stained fingers. The question that mattered. That night, Daniel called Elena. My mom is coming next weekend. Should I be terrified? Moderately. They laughed, but then her voice softened. When she asks about my intentions, do you want to know the answer, too? The question stunned him. I just need to know you're really in this, he said. Not testing it. Not escaping your old life. In this. With us. Silence stretched. Then Elena spoke, voice trembling with honesty. I'm in so deep it scares me every day. I make decisions based on whether they bring me closer to you and Mia. I've turned down opportunities because they'd take me away. I'm not experimenting, Daniel. I'm all in. Something tight in his chest finally loosened. Okay, he whispered. Me too. Terrified, but all in. Patricia meets Elena. Daniel's mother arrived like a small, well-dressed hurricane. She hugged Mia fiercely. Inspected Daniel with narrowed eyes. You look different, she said. That evening, Elena showed up for dinner carrying wine and visible nerves. Patricia studied her carefully, thrift store clothes, no makeup, quiet confidence. Questions came like an interview. Where are you from? What do you do? What are your plans? Elena answered honestly, but gently. She spoke about her foundation, her writing, her quiet life. She didn't mention the billions. Mia did the real damage. Daddy smiles different when Elena's here, she announced. Patricia raised a brow. Different how? Like a real smile. After Mia was in bed, Patricia asked the question that mattered. What do you want from my son? Elena didn't hesitate. I want to build something real. And I know that means risk. For all of us. But protecting Mia from every possible hurt isn't the same as loving her well. Patricia studied her for a long moment. You're not what I expected. What did you expect? Someone trying to fix him. I don't want to fix him, Elena said softly. I think he's already doing something remarkable. Daniel, sitting between them, muttered, I'm right here. Both women replied in unison, we know. And just like that, the ice cracked. By the time Patricia left, her verdict was simple. I like her. She's not a replacement. She's something new. Are you ready for that? Daniel thought of fear. Of hope. Of Mia laughing at the park. I'm choosing it anyway. She squeezed his hand. Your father would be proud. Christmas, California, and a choice. Christmas was the real turning point. Elena joined Daniel and Mia at his sister Rachel's chaotic house in California, loud kids, burnt cookies, crowded rooms. On Christmas Eve, sitting under a blanket on the porch, Elena said quietly. I don't want to hide anymore. I want a real home. Maybe near you. Maybe where Mia can walk over for pancakes. Daniel's heart pounded. That sounds like a life. It is, she said. I'm not going anywhere. He kissed her under the winter sky, breath fogging between them. We'll have you, he whispered. The truth about Elena. When Elena finally told Daniel the full truth, the company, the stock, the billions, they were sitting on the floor surrounded by paint cans in her new house 3 blocks away. Does it change things? She asked, scared. Daniel thought carefully. It changes logistics. Conversations about privacy. About Mia. About the future. He took her paint-stained hands. But it doesn't change us. You're still the woman who draws elephants with my daughter and burns dinner. Tears filled her eyes. I love you, she said. I love you too. Mia looked up from the floor. Obviously. Can we eat now? Becoming a family. They moved in together that August. Boxes everywhere. Pizza on the floor. Mia asleep between them. This is terrifying, Elena whispered. Me too, Daniel said. But also, right. He kissed her hair. Thank you for loving us. This is the life I wanted, she replied. You and Mia. Saturday mornings and chalk drawings. The proposal. 6 months later, on a snowy morning, Elena pulled a ring from her pocket. I'm done being afraid to ask for what I want, she said. Marry me. Let me be your wife. Let me be Mia's stepmom. Let me build this life with you officially. Daniel laughed through tears. Yes. Yes. 1,000 times yes. Mia blinked awake on the couch. Are you kissing again? We're getting married, Elena said. Mia thought hard. Can I be the flower girl? Absolutely. Okay then. The wedding. They married in the park where it had all begun. Neighbors. Family. Laughter. Mia scattered petals like it was the most important job in the world. Daniel's vows were about finding hope again. Elena's were about learning that home is people, not places. Mia's speech was about elephants and how Daddy smiles now. It wasn't a fairy tale. It was better. It was real. Crescent Moon Midnight Story Theater closing line. Some love stories begin with fireworks. Others begin with fear, hesitation, and the quiet bravery of 2 people choosing not to run. And sometimes, the most extraordinary families are the ones we build after we thought our story was already over. Good night from Midnight Story Theater.